They say music is a universal language, but in drill, there's a whole other language. It's quieter, faster, and way more dangerous. It's not spoken with words, but with fingers. And if you don't know the signs, you're missing half the story. Gang signs in drill rap aren't just background details. They're coded messages flashed in a split second. They can be warnings, threats, or tributes. Every hand movement means something, and if you're not from that world, it's hard to understand. This isn't just about music, it's about loyalty, and sometimes showing that loyalty can be deadly. This video breaks it all down the drill. Rappers who didn't just rap their stories, they flashed them in gang signs. Some are locked up, some are gone, and some are still out here throwing signs with the same energy they put into their bars. Let's talk about one of the most talked about cases, Tay-K. He was just a teenager when he became both a legend and a cautionary tale. He dropped the race the same day he went on the run, and that tracked. It wasn't fiction, it was basically a confession. Tay-K was running after a robbery went wrong and someone got killed. But he didn't just rap about violence, he lived it. In the race, he spits, "I'm Lil Tay-K. I don't think you want no action. You want action, you get turned into past tense. Your boy's deep." Well, let's get to Subtract and Smith & Wesson. Someone commented, "No one does it better than Tay-K." And honestly, Tay-K never tried to hide where he came from. Sources say he was brought into a local street gang at a young age surrounded by Crips, even in his own family. Mom was reportedly part of a Crip subset called Baby Insane. Tay-K's childhood was rough. He was fending for himself before he even turned 10. He grew up in chaos and he responded with violence. In 2016, he and a group of others were involved in a home invasion. The plan was just to rob the place, but it ended with a man named Ethan Walker getting killed. K ran. He stayed on the run for 3 months before getting caught in New Jersey the same day he dropped the race. His gang life didn't end with his arrest. Even behind bars, Tay-K was reportedly trying to build something new. He called it Rugrats, a twisted name for a gang with some twisted rules. Court documents say these rules included no snitching, no stealing from other Rugrats, and one chilling rule, no hurting kids unless necessary. Let that sink in. By 2019, Tay-K was sentenced to 55 years in prison. His signs, his lyrics, his choices, they all caught up with him.
The verdict is in for the trial of rapper Tamor McIntyre, also known as Tay-K. A jury found McIntyre guilty of murder, but not guilty of capital murder. McIntyre was accused of robbing and killing photographer Mark Anthony Saldivar in 2017.
What connects these three rappers isn't just their music, it's the hand signs they flash whether they think the cameras are off or want them watching. Drill rappers don't just rap about the streets, they live by street codes. And the signs they throw up. Sometimes they speak louder than the lyrics themselves.
Today you're not a trap star, today you are a donor. I don't wanna cool it with the thought I'm tryna Percy throw the on me like I put it in a corner. I made a movie with a op, thought she said I cloned her. She got Stussy on debits, basic and it's.
What connects these three rappers isn't just their music, it's the hand signs they flash whether they think the cameras are off or want them watching. Drill rappers don't just rap about the streets, they live by street codes and the signs they throw up. Sometimes they speak louder than the lyrics themselves. But it wasn't just rumors. In 2021, a video popped up online. Rondo, in a room with his crew, starts flashing signs. Someone in the background eggs him on, and Rondo yells, "Crip no doubt left."
Macaroni! Macaroni! Macaroni!
Gang,
Hey, the person has some shit, you know.
It could go from drip to hopping a nightmare. You hear me? You know what I'm saying?
A man commented, "Quando really stacking that," but what happened next caught everyone off guard. August 2022, his cousin Lil Pab was shot and killed in Los Angeles. Rondo was right there when it happened, same car, same moment. He survived, but just barely. A few weeks later, on September 6th, 2022, Rondo posted on Instagram. His tone was different this time, calmer, more serious. He said he was done. He made it clear he wasn't part of NH, neighborhood Crips, anymore. He dropped the flag called "Out Fake Loyalty" and said it didn't make sense to ride for people who wouldn't ride for him. But it's not that simple. In gang life, there's a code, blood in, blood out. You get in by shedding blood or taking a beating, and you leave the same. Way Rondo didn't follow that path, and the streets noticed rapper Jay Stone clapped back saying Rondo couldn't just quit like that. If he really wanted out, he'd need to go back to the hood and get put off. That's the rule. Public posts. Don't count Jay Stone even called Rondo a goofy internet banger. Less than a year later, things took another turn. Rondo and 18 others were hit with gang and drug charges. The indictment linked them to the Rollin' 60s Crips. Just like that, the truth came back into the spotlight. NBA Youngboy isn't just a rapper with face tattoos and a serious look. He's one of the most feared names in the rap game. Even though he's never openly said which gang he reps, people in the streets already know. Over the years, several videos have shown him throwing up hand signs connected to the Bloods in March 2021. Youngboy was seen on camera walking through the streets. At first it looked normal, just another day, another flex. But then he did something that caught attention. He flashed a gang sign known as the 4KT blood sign, according to actual gang members. Only someone really deep in the gang world would use that sign. It's not something you throw up by mistake. That moment made it clear Youngboy isn't just pretending to be a gangster. He really lives that life, but things aren't so simple. Youngboy also reps another name, 4K Trey. He's mentioned it on Instagram, live shouted it out in his music, and treats it like it's part of who he is.
Well, 4K Trey. Banging 4K Trey.
The name 4K Trey reportedly comes from a friend NBA Youngboy lost at a party back in 2014. His friend Lil Jeff was shot and killed by an enemy while they were still teenagers. In Chicago, where Lil Jeff was from, gang signs aren't just random hand movements, they're warnings, bold statements, and sometimes death sentences. One of the most dangerous signs out there is GDK, which stands for Gangster Disciple Killer. It's not just for show, it's a direct threat. Throwing it up tells everyone, I'm not with the GDs, I'm against them. And that can bring serious consequences. Revenge shootings, even death. Here's the wild part. Lil Jeff was known for throwing up GDK signs, even though he was reportedly part of the Gangster Disciples himself. That's like declaring war on your own team, but it wasn't an accident. It reflected the complicated and messy gang politics in Chicago. Gangs split into factions, friends become enemies, and one wrong move or hand sign can turn you from ally to target. People who knew Jeff said he changed on the streets. His hand signs weren't just for music videos, they were real messages from the front lines. Then there was the DIY sign aimed at a rival crew that uses the Y hand symbol. Throwing up DIY was like saying, "You're next." That group, TYNB, were Jeff's known enemies, which explains the DY in the name, in his song LAX. Jeff rapped, "I don't give no pass, you get caught you going, I'm my ops, I'm DETs, I'm on my way to hit a lick, I'm on the Dan Ryan flying." He used both signs, GDK and DIY, not to show loyalty, but to fuel chaos. It wasn't just gang stuff, it was about reputation. In drill rap, there's no line between music and violence. For Lil Jeff, those signs weren't just for clout, they were statements. Some say he had 10 teardrop tattoos on his neck, one for every body. Whether that was true or not, the message was clear. This wasn't an act. When he rapped about chasing an op into a building, it wasn't a fantasy, it was a plan, and that's exactly how he died. Reports say he did just that, chased a rival into a building, guns drawn. But this time, the other side was ready. He was shot dead. The way he lived, the way he rapped it all came full circle.
And I'm sliding, take the car, turn it to a hit car. You know this, I see me and Kip and I take it. It was me and folks in the high speed. It was me and folks in her in the high speed. You know that, I see me and Kip and I.
A user commented, "Lee Homie was a demon for R." It didn't matter how much money he was making off music, he was still hustling and drilling. Instagram lives showed him and his crew armed and flexing. Music videos were filled with signs and threats. The internet turned into a battleground. Drill rappers didn't just drop songs, they dropped warnings. And for Lil Jeff, every video felt like a ticking clock. For his fans, his death was tragic. For his enemies, it was a celebration. One less threat on the board. The violence didn't end there. It never does. A tribute track called Long Live, Jeffrey dropped months later. Artists came together to honor him, but within 7 months, every single one of them was dead. Everyone. And what he rapped about on. This song made no one shocked about how he went out when he whopped, "Boy, we kill for real. We kill high speed with the states. Bird in the air, don't care, cause Shaq got wheel. Nah, I don't do liquor, only smoke, sip, and do this. Talking about love, and I'm off the love I can't feel. Lil Jeff wasn't just playing a part, he was the part. His story wasn't a cautionary tale until it was too late. In drill, authenticity is currency. Faking it gets you ignored, living it gets you famous, but staying alive, that's the hard part. King Von born Devin Decoyne Bennett. He was raised in Parkway Gardens, better known as O'Black. That's the heart of the Black Disciples territory. The streets he walked were soaked in history, and every step came with a code. One of the most dangerous GDK when King Von threw up the GDK sign. The sign is a distorted version of the gangster disciples' own hand symbols. It's designed to disrespect, it's not subtle, and in Chicago it's not harmless. King Von's music was full of street codes and symbols. In tracks like Armed and Dangerous, he painted the reality of life where loyalty isn't a choice, it's survival. If you were from O-Black, you repped BD. If you repped BD, you didn't just ignore the GDs, you opposed them. That's where the GDK. Van's lyrics didn't just hint at this rivalry, they called it out. He didn't blur lines or play both sides. He chose his side early. That choice followed him everywhere, into music videos, Instagram posts, interviews, and it followed him into the streets, too. In his music, he tells you his side. In his song, Grandson for President, he rapped, GDK, I be in them buildings where them killers stay. Vernon, that's a one-way. Hop out, spark, and broad day. Try to run, get caught. Hot hit. That was in P. The way O-Black we run the city, rest in peace. Big drill music born on the south side of Chicago isn't entertainment in the usual sense. It's more like documentation. Artists like Von use it to tell stories raw, unfiltered, and dangerous. Signs became part of that storytelling. They were visual subtitles for the violence being described. GDK was one of the loudest. To outsiders, it might look like posturing, but in the world, Von came from that sign, had consequences. Throwing it up could spark retaliation. It wasn't just for show, it meant you were ready for whatever came with it. Van's debut album, Welcome to O-Black, wasn't just a title, it was a flag. It claimed territory. It reminded listeners where he was from, who he stood with, and who he stood against. That clarity is part of what made his music hit so hard. Fans didn't just listen, they believed him. That belief came with a price. Van's rise in music was fast. After linking with Lil Durk's label, Only the Family, he dropped Grandson Volume 1, then Levon James. His stories hit charts, but they never left the street behind. Even as he gained fame, his message stayed the same. His music didn't try to clean up the truth, it leaned into.
King Von, bro! What's going on, boy? King Von in the hood.
He was proud of where he came from. Even when it came with scars, got a drop on this flexing. He from Tennessee. From where I had a she be with the... She told me where he be, where he at. I said, for sure, baby. Let me know if you want to eat. She like, Von, you already know, just put your girl on fleek. I'm like, cool. I can do that, boo. What you want? Some shoes, huh? Jimmy Choo with a handbag too. Red or baby blue. Then came November 6th, 2020. Outside a nightclub in Atlanta, Van got into an altercation. Shots were fired. Van was hit. He didn't make it. He was 26. The man who rapped about shootouts and loyalty died. In a shootout surrounded by his crew. The music, the signs, the code, it all came full circle.
What? Just keep breathing, cuz.
Hold on, you can't move on that
You got it, my fault.
Yeah.
Man, he's shot. What you mean wrong side? Come on. Please, come on, all right.
Okay.
Get him a wheelchair.
His death hit hard, not just because he was rising, but because it made everything he rapped about feel real. The violence wasn't just part of a track list, it was part of life. And for Von, it was also the end. Even now, fans still throw up the GDK sign and tribute. Some don't fully grasp what it means, but those from Chicago do. They know that every letter, every symbol, every track has a backstory. And for Van, that story was always tied to O-Block, Black Disciple, and a rivalry that never cooled down. Pop Smoke didn't wait for an invite to the game. He kicked the door down. Deep voice, heavy bass, no apologies.
My someone tell this dumb stop talking about me. If you know, you don't know who is. If you know who is, you wouldn't be talking like that. Talking about this.
Born Bashar Baraka Jackson. He wasn't just another rapper from Brooklyn. He was the sound of Brooklyn. But what made him more than a rapper was something bigger than beats and bars. Something called the woo. It started in the streets, Brooklyn, a term tossed around in tight circles, a mix of bloods, and Crips forming an unlikely alliance. But then Pop Smoke stepped in and flipped it. To him, the woo wasn't just street talk. It was energy, a way of moving, a way of living. It wasn't about where you were from. It was about what you gave off. He said himself, "That's me. I'm the woo. Not a gang, not a code. A vibe. Something you feel before anyone opens their mouth. Swagger without trying. That I'm here. And you know, it kind of presence." When Pop dropped Meet the Woo in 2019, it didn't just introduce a mixtape, it introduced a culture. The heavy drill beats the raw lyrics. This was Brooklyn on fire. Meet the Woo was Pop saying, "Welcome to my world." Grit, loyalty, flash, danger, all wrapped into 2 minutes of pure energy. He confirmed in his son, Meet the Woo, when he rapped, "Baby girl, come and meet the woo. She know we keep a tool big knocking on my body. Watch who you speaking to. Girl, watch. Who you speaking to? Baby girl, come and meet the woo." People didn't just hear it, they felt it. That hypnotic woo in the hook became a rallying cry. Clubs, corners, headphones, it was everywhere. Even his mom couldn't resist doing the woo sign. And then came Welcome to the Party. That's when the world really started paying attention. The drill sound borrowed from UK streets now had an NYC accent, deep voice, clear threat, but there was charisma too, a cold kind of charm. Pop Smoke didn't just talk about the woo, he lived it. Fast Cars designer Fitz diamond watches. The woo was shiny but not soft. It was street smart with luxury dreams. You could see it in every video, every post. Every verse, he wasn't trying to escape the hood, he was trying to elevate it. The woo became more than slang, it became fashion, a look, a walk. Even people who had no idea what Brooklyn drill was started using the term. That's impact. A man commented, "I old head, but this young man had so much going for him. I loved his fresh new voice and can really dig his song. He was also wise before his age. The devil stole his joy." In the woo, featuring 50 Cent and Roddy Ricch Pop, did something bold. He took a piece of 50s candy shop and twisted it into his own flavor. Trap beats me, met Latin drums. Street merged with seduction. Luxury met legacy.
Pop is like, he is 50 Cent, like it's a new version of it. The time that I did speak to him, they made some changes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking going, I told him, I said, yo, you have to just keep that clean all the way around because you got to do this. You gonna be like this. And he look and go, yeah.
The video, a flex expensive everything, but more than that, it was a celebration of the woo as a full-blown culture, not just music, a movement. Soon after Pop's rise, others followed the sound. Dusty, Loca, CJ, more Brooklyn rappers who looked at the woo and said, "I can carry that too." The style spread fast. The sound copied but never cloned. Then came February 2020, a robbery, a loss. Pop Smoke dead at 20. A voice that sounded like thunder had been silenced. But instead of fading, the woo got louder.
Hello? PD, what are your numbers? I'm gonna tell them to wait for LAPD. Alright. Okay, I'll send them. Yeah, me too. I'll get it going. Thanks. Hello?
People started honoring him with Woo Back Wednesday. His songs kept climbing. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon dropped posthumously and dominated charts. Even Woo Baby with Chris Brown kept the message alive. The woo didn't die, it adapted. If you thought gang signs were just background noise in a music video, think again. For these artists, it's identity, it's history. Sometimes it's the reason they blew up and the reason they got locked up. Hit that like button. Drop a comment with your favorite rapper who reps hard, and don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, click on a video on either side to watch a video similar to this.